like, I just don't know. I feel like I'm in a dream. Like, I feel like, I'm like, what? Like, what just happened?
That's why you don't give up. You don't give up to the last pitch, until the last inning, until the umpires call ball game.
Hi, I'm Greg Sherman. After a one-year hiatus, the high school softball state championships returned to Austin in 2021. The Class 2A Final Four featured 3 teams with a lot of experience in softball. Pineland West Sabine was the tournament favorite, going undefeated into the state semifinals. Crawford, the defending champions from 2 years ago, beat West Sabine for the 2019 title. And Weimar, who came in with just 1 loss on the season and had already won 4 championships in 6 semifinal appearances. The 4th team was the Stamford Bulldogs out of the Abilene area. Stamford has had a lot of success in different sports over the years, including winning back-to-back football championships in the mid-20-teens, and is the home of the legendary Texas golfer Charles Coody. Softball, though, not quite as much success. 3 years ago, the Bulldogs went 0-8 in district play and were outscored 134-17 in those 8 district games. But 3 years later, they found themselves in Austin, where great pitching plus some critical mistakes showed why anything can happen at the state championships. The road to the state championships is a long, winding path with lots of twists and turns. No, not necessarily the 276-mile drive from Stamford to Austin, but rather how teams navigate the season. Before they could drive highways 84, 283, and 71, they had to drive past several teams, including Forsan, a past 2-time state champion in round 4, then Colorado City in the quarters. 7 wins later, 4 by run rule, the Bulldogs were booked for Austin and continued the road to the state championship. Hey folks, Mr. Bowtie here. Keep banging home that red subscribe button on your screen so that way you can stay up to date on all the great local sports coverage that TV and radio refuse to cover. Thank you so much and enjoy the show. The state championships are often compared to the U.S. Open in golf. The championships examine one's whole game. Basics like pitching, fielding, hitting, base running. Most importantly, it measures your mental fortitude of the pressure of being there and how you respond to mistakes. Stamford would see both the good and the bad of the mental fortitude. Of course, you don't want to forget your glove either. New athletic director Britt Hart knew about the pressures of the state championships. He was on the Wellington coaching staff that won a football title in 2013 and led Falls City to 2 state semifinal appearances. Stamford had a great pitcher in Citlali Gutierrez, a future Division I college hurler, but the state championships would show just how good she was. The semifinal featured the Bulldogs playing Weimar. While Stamford was there for the first time in softball, the Wildcats had been there 6 times previously with 4 titles and a manager that had won Golden Trapezoids at Weimar in softball and girls basketball. Weimar had the first great opportunity. Gutierrez ran into early trouble with a runner on second and 2 outs in the very first inning. Weimar pitcher Reagan Wick, another future college softball star, laced a liner into right field. Savana Gonzales was briefly handcuffed but turned around in time to make the catch, record the out, and save a run that would prove critical later on in the contest.
I kind of misread it, but then I kind of just took that step back and stretched as far as I could to catch that ball.
In the second inning, the roles were reversed with a much different outcome. This time it was Gonzales at the plate with 1 on and 1 out. She hit the ball to right, nearly the same spot that was hit at her in the first, but this time Weimar's right fielder Harper Price turned the wrong way, misjudged the ball, and it landed on the grass. Leilana Applin scored the first ever state semifinal run in Stamford softball history.
Kind of watched her, I guess she kind of like misread it a lot, I think, and Leilana got on the base, so I did my job and brought her home.
She made a couple of critical plays later on in the contest. As for Gutierrez, the pitcher, she didn't look phased at all, pitching in the large confines of McCombs Field. 8 strikeouts, and she set down the side in order 3 times and had not allowed to hit through 5 innings.
It took me like the first 2 or 3 innings to get going. I was really nervous. You know, it's a packed house right now, and You know, I just needed to calm myself down to get things going.
But in the sixth, as the clouds rolled in, everything nearly came undone as the softball world would find out how she fared under pressure. Two infield singles put 2 on and none out for the Wildcats. Skylar Hecker, the team's top hitter, came to the plate with a chance to be a hero for Weimar. Gutierrez induced a pop-up on a bunt, made the catch, kept cool, and threw over to first to record the out and a double play.
As soon as I got the ball, I knew I was going to have to look to see if there was a runner going, you know, get that double play. And I was trying to get the lead runner, but she already made it back. But I noticed that the runner on first didn't make it back, so I got the out at first.
A look at the replay shows how slowing down on a fast play was critical. She made the catch, then looked to second to try to get the lead runner. So many players in the past would have thrown before looking, seen the ball go into center field and the tying run score. Right before she threw, she saw no one covering second and stopped. She looked to first, saw second baseman Macy Dedamore on the bag, and had a relatively easy throw to double off the runner. She wasn't out of danger yet with the tying run still at second and Wick at the plate with a 2-2 count. Swung on and missed strike 3, and the threat was over. The live studio audience from Stamford clapped in enthusiasm. Bottom 7, I mentioned Gonzales wasn't done making plays. She sold out for one catch earlier in the inning, then ran down the last pitch of the night, went into the wall, and hung on. Say goodnight, Gracie. Stamford won 1-0 to move to the gold medal final.
2 outs. I knew I had to do what I had to do. Just tried my best to reach out. I just kind of, I don't know. I didn't think I would catch it, but I ended up just feeling the ball, squeezed it.
Relax, you know, sometimes I like to muscle the ball, but she tells me to relax, you know. I just do what I do best.
In the earlier semifinal, Crawford scored a late run and once again beat Pineland West Sabine 1-0, this time in the semifinals to reach the gold medal match once again.
Get a great night's rest, you know, recap, rethink everything. You know, it's a whole new ballgame tomorrow.
The state championship game featured the defending champions against the new kids on the block as they concluded the road to the state championship. Hey folks, Mr. Bowtie here. Keep banging home that red subscribe button on your screen so that way you can stay up to date on all the great local sports coverage that TV and radio refuse to cover. Thank you so much and enjoy the show. A state final, regardless of the sport, always brings out passionate fans and some more quiet. Texas's softball maintenance staff has an extra helper in Leroy the rescue dog. While Leroy might not be able to scrape the field or paint the lines, he earns his bones by being a great supervisor and keeping UT staff focused on the job at hand. Or should I say, the job at paw. The final pitted Crawford seeking their 4th title against Stamford seeking to complete a 3-year turnaround. Navigating the shark-infested waters of the state final can be difficult if you aren't used to the currents of momentum shifts. Early on, the Pirates showed why they were the defending gold medalists. Stamford had 2 on, 1 out in the first, but a line out and a strikeout by Kenzie Jones ended the inning. Then Stamford looked like a team buckling under the weight of the finals. With a runner on second and 1 out, Savana bunted back to the circle. Gutierrez threw to third to get the lead runner, but it was high and away, went off the third baseman's glove. Then an overthrow by Applin allowed the runner to score. 2 errors on the play. They were a sign of fielding boo-boos by both sides all evening. Another bunt brought home the second run, and it was 2-0 Crawford after 1. Gutierrez, though, would make up for a mistake in the second with a solo home run to cut the deficit in half to 2-1, but the joy was short-lived as more errors continued to plague the team in blue. Bottom second with a runner on a routine ground ball hit to third, but Shandlee Mueller threw the ball wide that allowed the run to score. 3-1 Crawford as the storm clouds bubbled up both on and above the field. Stamford committed 4 errors in the first 3 innings, while Kinsey Jones went into complete control in the circle. She retired 9 straight Bulldog hitters, 4 by strikeout. In the 5th, Stamford finally strung some hits together. Coupled with a Crawford error, had 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs, but Jones got a clutch strikeout to end the inning and quash what many in the audience thought was Stamford's last stand. A 39-minute weather delay interrupted the bottom of the 5th, which gave the Bulldogs a chance to regroup. Instead, little changed after the teams came back from the delay, other than cooler temperatures. Crawford added another run to go up 4-1, appeared to regain any momentum lost in the stoppage, and the pirate ship looked to set sail towards their 4th title. Then fate would play its own game, giving one player redemption after earlier errors and being cruel to another. The top of the 6th is one that will be remembered in softball lore for years to come. In airplane disasters, investigators often say a chain of events led to the crash. Without one of the events, the chain would have been broken and the crash wouldn't have occurred. With one out, the chain of events began that would define the 2A state final. Gonzales hit a routine pop-up in the shallow right. Addie Goldenberg, though, overran the play and dropped the ball. Instead of out number 2, the chain began. Next batter, Briley Strand, hit a soft grounder to deep short and with speed beat the throw out as the chain grew. Gutierrez came up and hit a sharp ground ball to 3rd. Fielded cleanly, it would have been the theoretical final out of the inning and Crawford would have had a 3-run lead with 3 outs left to a title. Instead, the ball went off the glove into left field. Gonzales scored and it was 4-2. A strikeout, the theoretical 4th out, was the 2nd actual out and left Crawford still in good position to get out of danger. Instead, the chain of disaster grew. A Mueller walk loaded the bases as Laramie Terrell came to the plate and the chain would extend. Jones had pitched so well, but a wild pitch went to the backstop and Strand scored. Stamford within 1 at 4-3. Jones still had a chance to get out of the inning with the lead when Terrell, the only senior on the squad, hit a soft pop-up to 3rd. Maddie Green, a freshman, dropped what would have been the theoretical 5th out and officially the 3rd out as Gutierrez and Mueller scored. Mueller made 3 errors in the game, but on a single play, fate gave her a chance to make a play, while fate was cruel to the Crawford fielder in the last link of the chain of events that would decide the 2A final.
That at bat, was that more or less an act of God, or what was that?
I think so.
What did you see when the ball went up in the air and you thought it was going to be the 3rd out?
Oh, I was like, oh crap. But I was like, I felt a little defeated. And then it just worked out.
I was at 3rd, and as soon as that ball was in there, I was just going. I wasn't even going to look back or anything. So I was like, if they catch it, we just got to take care of business.
Running your hardest, like always on 2 outs, you run as soon as the ball gets hit. So like me just being there could have distracted her and just made her more nervous to catch the ball since there was a runner going home that was the winning run.
Oh my God, we're up now.
In a span of 10 minutes, 4 mistakes by Crawford, 4 events, changed the fate of 2 teams in ways that will be disbelieved for years to come. With lightning striking in the distance, Citlali Gutierrez had a chance, one she probably didn't think she would have, to win the state title. After the teams combined for 8 errors and several other boo-boos, the junior took fate in her own hands the rest of the way, as she raced to beat weather and another turn of fate to close out the title match. The last 6 outs were all handled by the pitcher. A ground out to the mound and 2 strikeouts finished off the 6th. Then in the 7th, it was another K and a line out to the circle for the first 2 outs. Then the junior pitcher delivered one more thunderous pitch on a 1-2 count. In a game that will be remembered more for its strangeness and chains, Stamford, a team 3 years ago outscored by 117 runs in district, was a state champion.
It was definitely nerve-wracking, and I definitely felt like we didn't play to our potential the whole game, but I knew that playing to the end is all that matters and winning is all that matters. So it didn't matter about the run that just came and scored just then, because we know we can hit the ball and we took care of business like we know we should.
All that adrenaline was going through me, so I was I was just firing it in there. You know, I had to relax a lot though, because you know, both sides are being loud. You know, Crawford could come back at any time, tie it up, or, you know, win the ball game. And so I was trying to stay calm and do what I do best.
All you have to do is put the ball in play. Put the ball in play and make the other defense work. And, you know, that's what happened. We're making errors. They weren't hitting the ball all that hard, all that great. We were just making errors. I mean, routine errors that's not us. And so, like I told them, you know, you keep fighting, you keep putting the ball in play and make that defense work.
As lightning flashed overhead, none of the Bulldogs cared. Gutierrez earned the MVP award for slamming the door on the Pirates after their fatal mistakes in the 6th. The improbable journey from the depths of the outhouse of 2018 to the heights of the penthouse in 2021.
These communities and school officials and players for an outstanding season.
That's why you don't give up. You don't give up to the last pitch, until the last inning, until the umpires call ball game. I have all the faith in them. They're good, and we're here for a reason. And we didn't come all this way and do all this not to go home empty-handed.
We just never lost positivity. We stayed hype in the dugout. That's what we were best at.
It's like, I just don't know. I feel like I'm in a dream. Like, I feel like, I'm like, what? Like, what just happened? Like, I mean, but we've worked hard for this. I mean, a lot of these girls have been playing together since we were, like, very little. And so, I mean, we've been traveling to D-Bad just to get practice in when our field was flooded. So, like, it was like things like that, little things that we don't even think about that matter the most.
Those errors kind of like got me down a little bit. You know, it's a little bit frustrating as a pitcher when your defense can't make like routine plays. But after that weather delay, the 30-minute weather delay, you know, we regrouped and we're like, we're still in it. We're only down by 2. You know, we just got to clean up the defense, play like we usually do, and just go out there with confidence.
It's sweet. It's bittersweet because it's my last game, but this is a good way to go out.
Stamford, the 2A softball state champion. The 2A softball state championships will be remembered for years to come, not only for how they were won, but how they were lost. Louis Pasteur once upon a time said chance favors the prepared mind. Stamford's minds were prepared for the opportunities, and when that chance came in the 6th inning, they took advantage. And that's how the Bulldogs won the 2021 2A softball state championship. I'm Greg Sherman.